Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We would now like to start today's ISUM and Transum with CTEC Hall B session. Today's first session is Canadian Startup Showcase presented by the Embassy of Canada. Moderator of the session is, same with yesterday, Mr. Kensuke Ozawa, Chief Editor of AI Now, a major media in Japan specialized in AI. Now I pass the microphone to Mr. Ozawa. Hello, I'm Ozawa. Yesterday, we introduced the startups from Japan and UK, but today we will be having the last showcase. We will be introducing 11 startup companies from Canada. Canada is an advanced country in AI. Yesterday's startup from UK was quite interesting, weren't they? Yes, indeed. So what are the characteristics of the startups from Canada? I would want you to focus on that point. During the broadcasting, questions from you will also be asked to the startup members. So would appreciate if you could provide questions through comments. So myself, AI Now, major media in Japan, I work as the chief editor. Can you please introduce yourself as well? My name is Shiho Takai. I am in charge of PR in an AI startup. So the flow for today's session, can you please introduce? So today, firstly, we will have first 3 companies to give presentation on the video in relation to smart city. And after that, we have videos for those presentations related to smart city. And after that, we will have a Q&A session. So divided into 3 parts, 3 blocks. And after each block, we will have a Q&A session. So we would like you to provide questions to the startup companies. Today, the schedule is quite tight, so we would like to start. Can you please introduce? So now related to smart city related, Autumn View, Pantonium, and Nova. So now we will start the presentation.
Our company was founded in 2016 in Canada. We have expertise in artificial intelligence, deep learning, computer vision, edge computing. We designing algorithms, app, cloud, and hardware by ourselves. Our Cypress video sensor targeted applications such as senior care in facilities and at homes. Especially in Japan, there are about 35 million people over 65 years old and 7 million of dementia and half dementia people. So if our Cypress can be a help, that would be great. It can decrease the load and the stress of the senior cares and the family members. It also can be used in a lot of applications such as in schools, jails, hospitals, government offices. It then also can be used in entrance management system. Let's see how it works in senior care.
As my mom gets older, I can't help but worry about her. I want to make sure she's healthy, active, and most importantly, safe. But I can't be there all the time, and I don't know if she'd want me to. That's why there's the Cypress Visual Sensor by Autumn View. With just a glance, it lets me know she's safe, if she's been sleeping well, who's been in and out of the house, and it alerts me to any falls and even potential dangers before they happen, all automatically, securely, and without ever invading her privacy. How does it work? Let me show you. This is what the Cypress Visual Sensor sees. Using advanced facial recognition, it automatically knows that's my mom, and it can tell, just by the way she's moving, that everything's fine. It's super secure, super private. That's all it or anyone else can see. No video or audio is ever recorded or stored, so you can have them installed anywhere, even in the bathroom. So if something does happen, like a slip or a fall, I get alerted immediately. And the built-in two-way audio system lets me check if everything's okay. Mom, are you all right?
Nothing to worry about, sweetie.
It even works at night, so I'll get alerted if there's any unusual behavior or falls out of bed. The smart monitoring also gives me daily analytics, so I know if she's moving enough sleeping enough, and it even warns me to potential dangers before they occur. Now I get the best of both worlds. She gets to live her life without me always bugging her, and I get peace of mind knowing she's safe. Thanks to the Cypress visual sensor.
Okay. Well, this is what is our system. It's composed of the three parts: hardware, cloud, and application. It can do a lot of jobs, not only detect faults. It can do the feature recognition, gesture recognition, and can read the region of interest you defined. This device was introduced by Chinese CCTV twice, and it's now applied in hospital in China, and this is a senior home in our in BC here, and this one is an example. It's a senior care home in Toyama in Japan. These are all, we have business partners and supporters from Japan, our homeland here, Canada, and China. This is application, it tells us, how can we use cyberspace to care a senior. For example, we define this one cannot leave bed by himself. So when he sits up or gets off the bed, it will send alerts to caregivers and family members. This is, the first device in the world that was use AI technologies to make fall risk assessment. It can be done at home or in the facilities without a need to bring seniors to hospitals. This is automatic checking in the checkout system. You just get in and get out without writing and touch anything, and it will record your check-in time and checkout time. You can see it's so quick that I walk into the normal pace to read your face immediately. So please, if you have any question, contact me. It's my email address here, anlinhu.hu@atom.com。皆様ご清聴ありがとうございました。皆様の問い合わせお待ちしております。ありがとうございました。
Hello, my name is Remy Dessa. I'm the CEO of Pantonium, a Canadian-based technology company. Pantonium's purpose is to improve urban mobility through our digital platform, which allows cities to enhance public transit access and productivity for their communities as a means to drive better social inclusion and economic prosperity by doing more with less. Traditional bus service operates with fixed routes. Planners design these routes with an aim of balancing ridership and coverage goals. They use surveys to understand demand, which usually results in service frequencies that don't match rider demand. This mismatch leads to buses driving around empty and a lack of public transit ridership, as many people find public transit to be too time-consuming and not flexible enough to meet their needs outside of downtown cores. This has led to a decline in public transit ridership. We believe that buses are the best options for cities to upgrade their public transit. Buses can transport many people and allow for flexibility as they are not tied to any particular tracks or rails. Our software builds bus journeys in real time based on rider demand. By doing this, we allow cities to create flexible bus journeys that meet their ridership and coverage goals. Riders book and modify trips through our app. They choose either when they want to be picked up, when they want to arrive, or as soon as possible between any two bus stops. Our software builds and continuously self-adjusts routes in real time, based on dynamic changes like delays, cancellations, without the need for human intervention. We then guide drivers through their journeys one bus stop at a time. From a logistics perspective, the more people on the bus, the more complicated it is to optimize the route. This is why most on-demand software is focused on microtransit using smaller vehicles. It is a much simpler problem to solve. Through years of experience in this space, we've developed a high-powered, complex algorithm that can quickly optimize fleets of full-size buses and cities' worth of riders. The power of our optimization engine allows us to achieve very different results than traditional on-demand transit. The average ridership of traditional on-demand transit is 4 rides per hour. We are achieving 7 times better results and moving 30 rides per hour. And we call our difference macro transit. Macro transit uses large buses to transport high volumes of people on demand. Transporting many people at once makes macro transit sustainable, as the cost per ride are only a fraction of the cost per ride of microtransit solutions. Macrotransit works with large service areas, minimizing or eliminating transfers between vehicles. We find reduced transfers to be a major factor in increasing ridership. We are stop-based and not door-to-door, which increases efficiency as buses stay on main streets and do not wait for riders at their homes. We are able to coordinate our on-demand transit with fixed routes to create regional transit systems just through technology. We can commingle paratransit and regular bus service into one system, providing door-to-door service for passengers that need it, and stop-to-stop service for everyone else to maximize vehicle utility. We provide tremendous value to the cities we service. We have increased ridership by 300%, increased service area by 70%, and reduced mileage by 30%. Our key value for cities is our ability to increase ridership by providing control and convenience to riders. We reduce the cost to operate transit systems by reducing the maintenance and fuel costs for the vehicles, and we increase coverage by allowing riders to go to any stop while the buses only go to where demand is. And by increasing public transit ridership and reducing vehicles, we are able to fight climate change by reducing greenhouse gases. At Pantonium, we are bringing you tomorrow's transportation today. We are doing this by taking full-size buses off fixed routes and taking them on optimized journeys based on real-time rider demand. In this process, we radically increase public transit ridership by increasing the user experience through increased control, predictability, and more efficient rides. And we are looking for partners to work with us to bring our innovative technology to the Japanese market. Thank you very much.
So I'm Harold, founder and CEO of OVA, and today is a good day because I'm going to show you StellarX, which is working with AI to build virtual world. So as you may know, it's a long challenge to develop for virtual and augmented reality. So a few years back, we decided to create this immersive content creation tool where you can just drag and drop your 3D objects. It's collaborative, it's cross-platform, but also we have developed a visual scripting tool where even non-programmer can develop their own interaction, as you can see in this video. So we are 20 dedicated professionals at OVA. They are former Facebook employee, Google, we went to Vivex, also Alibaba Group, Deloitte, and we have on our board advisor Tivina West from Unity, and Paul Doyle, former Fabric Engine CEO, and now at MPC Technicolor. Also, we are connected with top academic research centers. We work with an international group based into a consortium with Thales and OVA, us. We work with Nara University in Japan, in the UK, University of Reading, and in Canada, of course, where I come from, University Laval and Concordia. So we also work with Concord AI to develop our Vanguard technology. And even this year, there's going to be a master degree on StellarX. So just like Minecraft enables 70 million of people to become 3D content creators, we believe that right now all these portfolios have been created by our client, and they are nowadays the metaverse builder of the future.
Now, as for Japan, since the Innovation Leaders Summits happened and we were selected by Nikon to be in their booth, we have been developing a project together where we work around virtual reality and augmented reality in collaboration. And also this collaboration extends with the Naro Institute Science and Technology Center and the Kiana Science City. By talking about Kiana Science City, we have been selected by the Kiana Global Accelerator Plus program, where OVA is participating in doing proof of concept with other enterprise. About concept, this is where it all starts.
The concept provide high-level training in companies using spatial computing and immersive learning techniques.
So at OVA, basically, we are working on the state-of-the-art virtual and augmented reality spectrum, and what we want to cover is the old paradigm. And with StellarX, actually, it's all about democratization of this new technology and how a non-programmer, even a non-professional, can create his own immersive world, providing unlimited amount of training through virtual and augmented reality straight to the door and accessible from a headset. And now the new school is using VR. So this is what we bring with StellarX. So you, me, everyone can be together working around digital twin and learning from real life experience. And that's the whole purpose. It would be cool to access a remote control where you can go back in time and see yourself what you did and re-see it again and again. This is what we can provide. Smart tools, accessible, unlimited to anyone. So in the world that we live today, collaboration is a solution. We remember how it was to create with block Lego. Just drag and dropping, you can build a small world. And with 3D objects, it's almost the same kind of mechanics. So we decided, why not build this toolbox where anyone, non-programmer, non-pro user, can create their own immersive world. And this is where OVA was started. So we use the augmented reality headset to be able to recognize like an engine for Pratt & Whitney or a piece of a plane at Bombardier. We got this feedback from Bombardier actually that we saved 260% of efficiency in reparation and maintenance of the piece of the planes because we do object detection and we are able to use a digital twin to project with an hologram where are the defects in real time on the piece of the plane. That is the beauty of all this core project, merging AI with augmented reality. The context of this project is really important to us and also for the whole ecosystem. It's the halo effect of what things will do at the end of the day. So in our case, it will help research centers to be able to develop vanguard technology with us and also to be able to have this first step into the manufacturing world. And to also see everybody that augmented reality, virtual reality, artificial intelligence is here and that the time is now.
ありがとうございます。ではご覧いただきました3社の皆さんの Q&A セッションに入りたいと思います。Zoom にはアルタムビュー社リージョナル VP セールス日本営業担当バイスプレジデントアンディ・フー様、パントニム社の CEO レミ・ルサ様、オーバ社の CEO ハロルド・ドミュール様にお越しいただいております。お揃いになりましたでしょうか。
はい、よろしくお願いいたします。各社の皆さんも本当に素晴らしいプレゼンありがとうございました。どの3社ともとてもワクワクするような内容でして、すごくワクワクしながら拝見させていただきました。まず最初、1社ごと質問をさせていただければと思っております。まず最初はアルタムビューのアンリー・フーさんにお伺いしたいなと思います。確かにこの少子高齢化は日本でも課題になっていて、この転倒とか何かその事故につながるようなこと。
Aging is an issue in Japan as well, so preventing accidents like falling. I thought this service was really great. So you can see the video, but just the move, but just the body line only. So we are using the camera indeed, but the video that's created is taking off the body, but just using this form. So the privacy is really well protected. So even if you go to the toilet or bathroom or bedroom, wherever you go to, privacy is protected, and also our technology, we have filed for patents, 13 of them, and 8 of them in the US. So all the technology that we have are all incorporated into this product. We hope that we can contribute to the people in Japan. So we would like to
はい、ありがとうございます。
do
今お
that,
風呂と
pursue
いう言
that.
葉があって実はこれ質
So
問
you
したかったん
mentioned
ですよ
about the
ね。
bathroom.
従来の
I
画像
wanted
認
to
識だと
ask
例えば大
a
浴場の中を
question,
認識しようと思った時に
like particularly if you have a bathroom where you know that its videos are being taken, you may not want to go, particularly when there are many people there. But you're not sending any image of a certain person, right? That is correct. So what's sent to the what is sent is only the numbers, only the figures only. So we're not showing anything else. So it's completely different from a normal security camera. So that means that because the security level is so high, it can be utilized in other places as well. So where do you think you can expand the use of your product? Currently, it can contribute most to the elderly care facilities. I think the people working there are very stressed, particularly people suffering from dementia. They will be pushing the nurse call button frequently, but if this product is introduced, you will be taking care only when it is really needed. So you can reduce, the people will be able to reduce some of their work. Like, for example, the caregivers open the door and have to check whether everything is okay or not. That's what they have to do right now. But with this product, like, for example, their caregivers or any other workers, the signs will be shown in their mobiles. So while monitoring, securing their privacy, and the quality of the caring service will be very high at the same time. Thank you very much. Particularly in Japan, the work of the caregivers are very severe, so the monitoring, if used for the monitoring, should be very good. So now to Pantonium. When buses are running with only one passenger, it seems like, oh, the bus is running with only 140 yen being paid. So I thought this service is great. The prediction of the demand, does that utilize the location that comes from the mobile phones?
Yes. So when you think of public transportation, generally the way it works is you don't have the origin and destination of where people are going. Most of the time, you just know maybe where people get on, but it's difficult to know where people get on and get off. So from the mobile application, we understand where people are going, and based on that, we're able to calculate all the different permutations and what's the best way for this bus to grab all the different people and service all the different people while maintaining the constraints. But yeah, we understand that not everyone has mobile phones too, especially in public transportation. You might have older people, so we also have the ability for the bus system to set certain stops to be fixed at certain times of the day, and that way you can also allow people who may not have smartphones to still use the bus service.
なるほど、ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much. So, to simplify, it seems like the bus stops are going to be increasing indefinitely. Would that be the idea?
Yeah, so when you think of the way traditional buses work, every time the bus goes to a stop, it's a cost. So the way bus services normally work is you have the buses going in this circular route, and they're always going to the bus stops. With an on-demand system, the cost is only there when when the bus actually has to go to the stop, when someone actually has to go there. So by doing that, you can have a lot more bus stops. And what we're doing is, a lot of times we see we're able to service much larger areas with fewer buses. So instead of the buses just being tied to these bus stops where they're going to, now the buses can service many more stops, much larger areas, and also a lot more convenient because the people who use the buses don't have to go to the extra stops, which may not be where they want to go. They going a lot more directly to where they need to go.
はい、ありがとうございました。では
Thank
次
you
は
very
オ
much.
ーバーのハロルドさんにもお伺いしていきたいと思います。またこの仮想空間っていうのは昨日カナダでも、イギリスのスタートアップにもあったんですけれども、やっぱりこれからはこのシミュレーション環境っていうのはすごくこの AI が学習する上で大事なのかなというふうに思ったんですが、今どのような企業のクライアントさんが多いんですか？もしかしたらミュートになってるかもしれないですね。
Sorry, let me repeat that question again. So the virtual reality world, we see that a lot, and we saw some of the UK companies talking about that yesterday. So, but what kind of clients do you have? What kind of clients do you have in terms of industries and sectors at this point of time?
Okay, good. Thanks for the question, and thanks for repeating. I don't know why you
were
the first time. So what kind of industry and client do we have? So we work mainly with B2B, so it's enterprise. We work with blue chip customer. We are in the defense sector with the Royal Canadian Navy and the Canadian Armed Forces, also with the aviation sector with clients such as Bombardier. And we are working with also schools that are in the aviation sector. We're also in healthcare because it's a horizontal product. So Northwell Healthcare in New York use our tool as well for their ICU, intensive care unit. Northwell Health is the biggest hospital of New York State and also the biggest private employer. So that's the kind of customer work, mainly blue chip.
なるほどなるほど、ありがとうございます。誰でも、マインクラフトのようにシミュレーション環境を作る、仮想環境を作れるということだったんですけど、このサービスで簡単に言うと、いわゆるクライアントさんから依頼があったデータというのを、誰でも作れて、それでお金がもらえるという仕組みなんですかね。
Is that how it works?
Yeah, exactly. So there is two ways. So license based, some can download it just like Minecraft, and there's going to be a license fee depending if it's an individual, a small group, or an enterprise. There is like 3 categories. Also, we will have a free version that will have in-app purchase with microtransaction on 3D object that people purchase, because it's not just made of cube, it's also made of 3D objects. So we'll make a revenue share on every 3D object that are resell. So I think this is where we will be able to scale better, because it's going to be a transformation of the business model from B2B to B2B2C.
なるほど、ありがとうございます。いわゆる再利用も可能ということなので、さらにどんどんシミュレーションのデータが増えていくので、
the more the simulation data you have, that will also develop to the development of AI. Thank you very much. So from here, we had from Alton View, Platinum, and over we had the Q&A session. So thank you very much for your time today.
はい、では次のブロックに参りたいと思います。
So now we'd like to move on to the next block.
続いては製造業の
So from the manufacturing AI, so Acelta, Analytics, BizStops, Connect, and Data Performers, Intelligent Project Solutions. We have 4 companies. Please look at the presentation video.
Hey everyone, welcome to Intelligent Project Solutions. Hi everyone, welcome to Intelligent Project Solutions.
Certa Analytics is a leader in automotive AI and machine learning technology. Our platforms provide automotive engineers with insights, supported by our advanced infrastructure and automated model maintenance and retraining solutions. We develop, deploy, and scale solutions that provide consistent value to our customers across the product lifecycle, from production line testing to in-service monitoring, enabling quality improvements derived from live in-service data. Using the data available from the production line and from connected vehicles, we develop, demonstrate, and deploy machine learning models that improve testing accuracy and throughput in production, analyze end-of-line testing data and quality, and then provide insights into production line data indicative of premature in-service degradation and failures.
自動車製造には明確な目標があります。
target in the most cost-effective way based on the expectations of plan. We have to provide the standard. However, as the vehicles becomes more and more complex, the engineers with the old tools and processes have so much time in manual analysis, and in order to meet that time, they are having difficulties. In 2016 alone, for quality issues, 53.2 million vehicles were recorded, and in one recall, maximum $4 billion manufacturing cost. In order for them to continue their target, engineers need new tools. AISUM is an AI platform for real-time fault detection diagnostics made for automotive engineers. It has the trust from the top companies. By utilizing AI, prior for the KPI being affected, it is able to understand the assembly, understand the issue, and real-time analyze the source. We promise the clients the following: reduce scrap and rework, increase first-time pass, accelerate root cause analysis, reduce warranty claims and customer rejects. Different from the general solutions, AISUM through neural network has in-house way to design and was trained for automotive related. In order, we will provide you the quality based on your brands. So implement your analysis with AI dedicated for automotive.
AISUM solutions are built on our proprietary data framework. Portable across Microsoft Azure and Amazon AWS environments, AISUM provides a dynamic data solution designed specifically for the automotive industry. This enables the use of data from the entire life cycle of the vehicle, from production of individual components and subassemblies through to usage of the connected vehicle. The infrastructure enables AISUM to seamlessly handle data from different sources, formats, and protocols, eliminating data silos within an organization and allowing big data applications to be implemented quickly when problems are identified. With its advanced data infrastructure, AISUM sees a great opportunity in the Japanese market to further improve quality throughout the manufacturing process and further enhance their reputation for quality and reliability in Japanese products. Our LinePulse solution enables production engineers to quickly visualize production data and do root cause analysis as issues are discovered on the line. LinePulse can also monitor data in real time, providing alerts when the system detects a trend that is indicative of an issue. Our machine learning models are built and implemented to enhance the LinePulse capability. For example, by providing enhanced component selection for complex mechanical subassemblies, we have reduced rework rates for a customer by 60% on their line. Once deployed, data input quality and the model's performance are continuously monitored. If performance falls below a predetermined threshold, an automatic retraining function is triggered. Through this system, AISUM avoids the degradation of performance typically seen in machine learning models and ensures that value and insight from the system are maximized.
Hello everybody, my name is Shiva Bhardwaj. I'm the founder and CEO at Pitstop, where we predict vehicle failures before they happen. And I'm excited today to share our AI solution and how it's going to disrupt the automotive industry. We look forward to partnering with the Japanese mobility ecosystem to make this disruption as big as possible. We all know that the automotive ecosystem is moving towards an autonomous, electric, connected, and shared future. But one important thing needs to happen before we get there, and that is that the industry needs to move from being reactive to predictive. What this means is today when a vehicle has an issue, it's after the issue occurs is when it's then fixed by the service center, and when it's then addressed all the way up the supply chain by the OEM or supplier. What this means is suppliers and OEMs are spending tens of billions of dollars on warranty claims and recalls because they're looking at issues after they've occurred. And so our mission at Pitstop has been to bring the industry from reactive to predictive. And the way we've done that is by building a data engine that's capable of ingesting information from any vehicle type. So this includes all sensor data streams coming off of the engine of the vehicle, as well as partnering with businesses in the entire supply chain, such as fleets, dealerships and service shops, tier one suppliers and OEMs, in capturing data around what parts are failing, why they're failing, and how much they cost. When we feed this into our data engine, we can provide insights such as there's a 90% chance that these 300 vehicles are going to break down because of a battery failure, amongst many other type of indications and predictions. And so this brings us to our three core pillars of innovation, which is Pitstop is becoming the leading supplier of prediction software to the entire industry. Our data platform is very flexible in which we can ingest data from over 50 sources so far, and that's growing rapidly. This ultimately allows us to host algorithms in a marketplace type of environment in which we really can predict issues from bumper to bumper on almost any vehicle type. Issues related to tires, brakes, engine, battery, amongst many other things. And so we believe at Pitstop that our partnership with the Japanese automotive industry is very key to disrupting the landscape into the future. And we're proud to announce that we actually work with some leading suppliers within the ecosystem already and looking to make further partnerships. Some of these disruptions will include helping fleet companies increase vehicle uptime, so preventing breakdowns on the side of the road, working with suppliers on building algorithms, as well as learning how to harness data through our data engine in ways that will help engineering teams build better products, and assist with OEMs understanding the best way to leverage the data sets coming from consumer vehicles to provide the consumers with the best experience possible and prevent as many failures as is physically possible. And so I'm going to share some examples of where we've been able to do this in North America and what we would like to do in Japan. Here's an example where we were able to predict a transmission failure 9 months before the OEM. Had the OEM been able to use our data, they could have saved over $50 million in potential spend on that particular recall. We also work with very large logistics fleets, and what we've been able to show them is a savings of about $2,000 per vehicle per year. So if you have a vehicle, a population of about 10,000 in your fleet, you can save tens of millions of dollars just through using our solution. We work with suppliers in harnessing all the data available from their labs, their internal fleets and engineers to bring into one system that applies machine learning and artificial intelligence to give them as many predictions as possible. And this has led into us building very advanced R&D projects with autonomous vehicles in predicting sensor network failures. We also help dealerships increase retention by over 50% through our solution and technology. And we've been able to do all these things with our phenomenal team. I wanted to note Dr. Christopher Ma, who's a PhD in mathematics and has really built our data science team and algorithms. I look forward to chatting with you, and I hope that you have a wonderful day and a safe few months ahead of you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mehdi Mirai. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Data Performance, and today I'm introducing Macula AI. So Macula AI is the first end-to-end AutoML solution for computer vision. And today we are introducing visual inspection use cases where we will show you how Macula AI allows you to detect different kinds of defects such as scratches, dents, pinhole on different material at any level of the production. So the key features of a visual inspection is obviously detecting and sorting like defects with a very high accuracy. So we are answering to the industrial accuracy that is higher than the standard data science one. So the accuracy that our deep learning system offers you could fulfill your needs and expectation in terms of regulation. In the same time, we allow you to detect multiple defects on the same object simultaneously. And we are also offering an adjustable defect permissibility. So the system allows you to design what is the level of permissibility where an object can go or not go. With Macula AI, you're able also to federate multiple AI model on a same and unique view. So imagine you have a product constituted by different parts, and for different parts, you have different AI agent or different AI model that detect defects on this specific part. So you can federate all these AIs under a same view. Macula AI comes also with explainable AI, where it show you visually how the model take decision and how the model decide to go or not go, for example. So Macula AI comes first with an interactive experience that monitor the AI inference in near real time. So Macula AI show you the AI in action in your facility. So this is an example with 6 cameras where every of the 6 cameras is collecting data live in the facility and showing you how the AI is taking decision and discriminating which is a good part, what is a bad part. We can go also on other use cases beyond the go or no go use case. Macula AI comes also with deployment on edge effortless. So we have a module that we call containerization that design a container that allows you to deploy your model on edge no matter what is the hardware. We have a list of compatible hardwares, and this allows you to scale with no cost. If you would like, for example, to deploy that on multiple cameras in your facility, you don't need a lot of time to integrate it one by one. It's automatically deployable. Macula AI is completely agnostic with the hardware. So for example, we can use RGB camera to detect the defects, but we can augment this image with a thermal camera that will give you a better perspective on the defects. Macula AI comes on 3 offers: the Macula SaaS, the Macula Platform as a Service, and the Macula Core. The Macula SaaS is the fastest and easiest way to go with the inspection. It allows you to test and try for free with no engagement if Macula is working on your specific defects. And if you are satisfied, then you go with the Macula AI license. The Platform as a Service allow you to get the AutoML module and the annotation module to help you to design your own AIs. And finally, the core is designed for existing products. So the engagement process is very simple. We sign an NDA, you send us a data sample, we demo the AI value with your data, and only if you are convinced, then we can deploy it in your facility easily and very fast. Macula AI is 3 main models: the AI manager, the containerization manager, and also the edge manager. And we have different successful use cases such as Sysensiki, Autodesk, and etc. We are supporting multiple visual inspection use cases such as weld inspection, finish and paint inspection, electronic inspection. We have multiple international customers, and we are looking forward to connect with you to show you Macula AI. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, welcome to Intelligent Project Solutions. My name is Daniel Zhang, founder and CEO of the company. We engineer with intelligence. IPS is an AI engineering technology and service company. We're building AI model to be able to read and understand engineer drawings, documents, and in the future 3D models for digitalization, design automation, and future knowledge management. Company is originally founded by Canadian National Research Fund And we are based in Vancouver, Canada, have office in India, China, and partners globally. The company is led by a group of industry and technology expertise, average over 20 years of experience working for large global companies. The industry is continue driving the profitability, safety, and sustainability. Whether you are improving your safety and operation in knowledge management, document information management, or you're driving your project delivery faster and cheaper through engineer design automation, digital work process, or digital handover, or you're looking at getting into Industry 4.0, building digital twins, smart asset management, IoT. All you need is based on digital data. But the challenge is a lot of engineering operation data are not digitalized. They're on paper, they're scanned or PDF files. They're not structured and not standardized. This brings a challenge for the industry to digitalize and utilize new technology. IPS believes the journey of the future starts from digitalization, building AI to be able to digitalize engineering documents and information to build digital work process to improve your productivity, then learning from those data to build AI engineer to be able to generate design, and eventually building the AI and the human interactive platform for the benefit of the engineering. We're also looking at building a lifecycle digital platform to utilize digitalization, automation, and continue to manage the change through the cycle of the asset based on the AI engine, and then building the AI applications for design automation and digital collaboration. Through this platform, we can integrate and communicate with all the information needed through the life cycle of your asset. We work with operation manufacturing companies, engineering construction companies, and digitalization companies to address 150 billion engineering digitalization market. The iDrawing application is an AI engine to be able to abstract engineering information from the drawings and structured data so that can be used for design automation and digitalization. Similarly, iDocument AI application be able to understand engineering document such as datasheet, read and abstract valuable engineering design parameters, and use that design parameters again for engineer design, asset management, or building digital twins. Then with the data, we can generate a design automatically with the efficiency 10 or 100 times in some cases to drastically improve your design process. We have been working with many large clients globally. You can see we have worked with many large companies in Japan, including Mitsubishi and Toyota. We continue to build our ecosystem. Our AI solutions now integrate with many aspects of engineer design, asset management, operation, and digital twin and IoT platforms. We also continue to innovate. We have built a 4-year pipeline with our partners based on market and digitalization needs. IPS is looking at work together with industry partners to accelerate your digital transformation and save your effort in those very manual process. We're also looking for partners to develop and cultivate AI technologies. Recently, we have signed an agreement with Toyota to building AI technology for certain design automation. We also looking at a strategic investment so we can work together to rapidly scale up to meet digitalization market needs, especially due to COVID. Work with us today. We will transform the future of engineering together. Thank you very much.
ありがとうございました。こちら製造業
Thank
向
you
け
very
AI
much
企業4社について
for
Q&A セッションに入りたいと思
AI
います。
companies
会
related
場
to
には
manufacturing
アセルタアナリティ
industry.
クス社
Now
日
would like
本
to
支部
go
事業
into the
開発
Q&A
部長
session.
山本幸宏様、
We
そ
have
して Zoom には
Mr.
ホストコ
Yamamoto
ネクト社
Yukihiro
CEO
Yamamoto,
ジババードワジ様、データパ
Mr.
フォーマー社
Shiba
CPO の
Birdwood,
アリエラワダ
CEO
様、
of Pitstop,
インテリジェントプロジェクトソリューション
Mehdi
社のファウンダー
Merai
の
of Data
CTO
Performer,
CEO
and Mr. Daniel Binzan, founder and CEO of Intelligent Project Solutions. Do you have everyone? Yes. So related to manufacturing, so particularly for cars, we have this recall issues. I think there were many appealing points on that. So now I would like to come up with the questions. Firstly, to Mr. Yamamoto of Acerta Analytics.
So the engineers, it seems that you don't need it, but that's not the case. But the AI and the engineer will coexist. I think that's the image that you have in mind. Is that true? Yes. So in terms of automotive manufacturing, those people who are making, they have a lot of know-how. And to mechanize that is very hard. So with auto manufacturer and system supplier, we receive the data, and using that data, see what kind of defects may occur going forward, or what kind of defects have in-house. We provide that insight. And we compare that with the knowledge of the clients and try to resolve the people. So it's the coexistence of people and machine try to make a good effect. So in terms of new cars, there's not so much data. So how do you take measures? So the more the new car, the more data you can take. So there's autonomous driving, and the vehicles are becoming more and more complex. So when it breaks down, it's going to become a big issue. So we have to prevent that prior utilizing data. Thank you very much.
So next questions to ANSIC, Mr. Shiba Bhardwaj, using the data to predict the defects. So specifically, to what extent of defects can you be able to predict?
Yeah, so we can predict failures like battery failures on vehicles months before it happens or comes up. We can predict engine failures. So if the coolant is going to leak on the vehicle, we can do brake failures, tires, tire wear, and we also do airflow. So if the air filter needs to be replaced, and those are the main systems we work on right now.
Thank you very much. Particularly if it were engine, the defects would be serious. So it is really interesting that you can predict the defects. So it might also be interesting if you could tie up with the insurance companies. How do you think about that?
Yeah, definitely. We actually do work with some insurance companies where we provide our service to help them reduce the warranty claims. So the insurance companies will provide warranty financing for vehicles, and so our software is in the background trying to reduce the cost for some of those organizations.
Thank you so much. The insurances for cars tend to be quite high. In Japan, everyone has to be insured. So if the insurance costs were to be reduced, it should be very important and good.
Next, I'd like to ask 途中でも説明可能な AI ということだったんですけれども、これってつまりはディープラーニングを使っていないということなのでしょうか。そしてつまりは学習データも少なくて済むという解釈でよろしいでしょうか。
Is that correct?
I believe what we mean by explainable AI is within the context of computer vision. We would aim to basically show for the client where the system is detecting the error. So in a form of a heat map to showcase, to point to the direction of the error. The value of that is when we do that, first the user could verify the result to improve the system further. And also it gives some sort of a sense of security that the solution is making the right choice and I could verify it. And we think this is very essential, especially in the very early period of pilot deployment of a few months of implementation, where the user is not actually taking those data produced by the system as a final kind of arbitrator for decision making, and actually verifying the results. This is very useful to show, okay, the defect is here and it kind of looks like this. and it points them towards looking at the direction of the defect, as I believe in one of the slides in the presentation it indicates.
なるほど、ありがとうございます。
Thank
ち
you
なみに
very
この日
much.
本でもこの欠
So
品
in
感知
Japan,
ってい
in
うの
terms
は
of
か
this
なり多
defect
い、結構メジャー
inspection,
なソリューションにはなってき
this
ていると思
is
い
one
ま
of
す。
the
そ
major
の上で、
solutions.
御
But
社の戦
when you
略と
think
して
about
どうやっ
that,
て差
your
別化をしていきた
strategy,
いと
how
思
are
わ
you
れてい
going
る
to
のか伺わせて
differentiate
くだ
that
さい。
with other companies?
So I know we are kind of considered a late company coming to the market of machine vision, but the angle we come in is basically very high accuracy models that works for example, secondary operation that are not in the production line. When you take an object of a production line and you add another process to it or you assemble it, we tend to stand out there. Also, we work quite well when it comes to cases of defects that are very visually subtle, so not very clear. And also, as a system, how we distinguish ourselves is when it comes to scaling. We're camera agnostic. We can work with your existing cameras. We basically deploy on edge. We are, a lot of the times, the clients are interested in hundreds of deployments. So in that sense, also our pricing becomes more competitive because we're not driven by hardware expansion. We don't have to bring our own hardware. We actually just work with your cameras and build very accurate models.
なるほど、既存の安価な
I
カメラ
see.
でも実
So
装が
by
可能ということ
utilizing
で、
your
何
existing
百何
cameras, you
千と
can
いった
deploy.
欠
So
品
even
感知
it's
でも対応できる。さらには
100,000, you're
価
able
格の
to
優位性もあると
detect,
いうこと
and you
で
also
すよ
have a
ね。
competitive
はい、あり
edge
がとう
in
ござい
terms
ま
of
す。
price. Thank
で
you
は
very
最後、イン
much.
テリジェントプロジェクトソリューションのダニエル
So
さんにお話しい
lastly,
ただきたいと思います。
to Daniel-san
この
of
製造業を
Intelligent
一貫とし
Project
てワンストップで管
Solution,
理をできるということだったんですが、
it is
結構マー
possible
ケット
to
が分散
manage
さ
on
れ
a
ていると思っ
one-stop
ていて、
basis the
日本だと
manufacturing
どんな
industries.
マーケ
It
ットを
seems
攻
like
め
the
ていきた
market
い
is
という
quite
ふうに
wide.
思っ
So
ていらっしゃる
which
でしょうか。
sector of the market do you want to target in Japan?
Well, at this point, actually, we are mainly focused on we call the process industry, which is oil and gas, chemical, and all energy that section. We've been working with large energy and oil and gas company globally. And in Japan, we're actually working with engineering company focused on in that section. For example, three largest engineering company, Toyota, Toyo, GGC, we work with all of them. They not only working in Japan, they also reach out in globally, manage very large global chemical and oil and gas and energy sectors.
なるほど、ありがとうございます。
Thank you very
これで
much.
かなりこの過程というのが効率化されるかなと思うんです
So
が、
this
具体
will
的になんかどれぐらい効率
more
化
make the process more efficient. So specifically, do you have any numbers or quantitatively, can you show how efficient you can make?
Yes, from most of the case, we're working with helping engineering process to do the digitalization collaboration. For example, a drawing will be produced by a human, typically around 17 to 18 hours per drawing. With technology, we can be able to reduce to 2-3 hours. Processing a data sheet, human takes about 30 minutes. On average, we take about 30 seconds. That's close to 100 times, basically. And we also focus in Japan because Japan has a lot of very paper-oriented. So lots of paperwork through the work process. That's one of the key technology advantage and why we focus in Japan.
やっぱり日本は紙文化に見えますか？紙文化
Yes,
だと捉えられ
it
て
seems like paper is really so much used in Japan. You view that way.
はい。ではとりあえずこれでブロック B ですね。
So
の
that was
Q&A
block
セッ
B.
ションを終わりにさせていただければと思
Q&A
ってお
session
り
for
ます。
block
4
B.
社の皆様
This
ありが
concludes
とう
the
ございま
Q&A
した。
session. Thank you very much, everyone.
はい。では次のブロックのご紹介を。
So we'd like to introduce the next block.
最後のグループになります。
This will be the last group of companies.
4社ございまして、
AI companies, Darwin AI, Darwin AI, Deep Light, Element AI, and Envision AI. So we'll start the video now.
Hi, everyone. My name is Phineas Tatar, and I lead our business development efforts here at Darwin. Today, I'll be telling you a little bit more about what we're working on here at Darwin. To give you a very brief introduction to the company, we're about a 30-person startup that's based out in Waterloo, so about an hour away from Toronto, here in Canada. And the company started 3.5 years ago, originally out of a research project that happened at the University of Waterloo. And we've been commercializing our technology ever since with a variety of different customers that are Fortune 500, companies like Lockheed Martin, Audi, ARM, Intel, and the like. The problem space that we're focusing on today is deep learning, right? So when you think about the realm of AI, you have the big bucket of AI, machine learning within that bucket, and then deep learning even within that. And deep learning is really the most complex form, but also the most powerful form of AI. And there's kind of three big challenges with respect to what make deep learning so hard, right? So the first is its complexity. You're dealing with vast amounts of data that your engineers are wrangling, and there's a significant amount of trial and error, in terms of picking the right data pieces and modeling to create something that's actually functional and production level ready. As a result, it takes months, if not years, to create a production level ready model. Because of this, the second big problem that you'll run into is it's very expensive, right? There's a significant amount of capital investment just to even get started on these types of projects, not to mention the human labor and the other equipment that you have to buy in server farms, that it becomes very costly very quickly if you're not cognizant of your spending. And the last piece here is this trust component, right? Deep learning has been traditionally known as the most opaque form of AI. You can feed a model input A and get output B, but the challenge is trying to understand what happened in the middle and how that decision-making process came about. And so what we've done is we've created this platform solution called GenSynth. Now, GenSynth is an AI deep learning development platform. It helps your engineers speed up the process of development in an explainable fashion and saves you months of engineering effort. And really what we're doing here, the easiest way to explain it is, in its core form, it's a development platform that takes a deep learning model and a deep learning data set, and using these two components and the operational requirements that you've set into the platform, it will then work to create a model that hits those targets for you, whether it's accuracy, inference targets, whatever the case may be. In addition to this, we go a step deeper and we'll show you certain explainability components of the model, right? So, for example, if you have a dog that's misclassified as a cat, we'll highlight the certain portion of that image that drives that misclassification, and we'll give you a confidence level attached to it. And that's just one of the many things that we do within the platform to help, visualize some of this information for you. Now, we've done a tremendous amount of work across various verticals. The customers that we work with today are Fortune 500 organizations, beginning with work in the automotive space. We're reducing perception time for autonomous driving. We've also done a significant amount of work in aerospace and defense, where you're trying to work with limited power on legacy CPUs, industrial applications. And last but not least, a concept that we're quite familiar with because of our relationships in Japan. On the consumer electronics side, we've also done a significant amount of work on resolution upscaling, right? So the process of making an image better than it once was before. So a variety of different use cases across the board. We're really excited about the potential in Japan, and we think there's a lot of opportunity there. We have some partners and some customers that we're working with there now, and we're very excited about the potential there. One quick example I want to show is Honeywell that put our application into practice. They use GenSynth to create a model for the purpose of scanning wires in California to make sure that they wouldn't cause forest fires. And they were able to create a model very, very quickly, just within 3 weeks. They were able to beat their operational requirements by a significant amount, as you can see here, 37 frames per second and 17% increased accuracy. And they were able to come up with a model that was reliable in an explainable fashion. And so that was very important to some of these business leaders and decision makers alike. My contact info is here on this slide. Would love to connect to explore opportunities for us to work on AI projects together. Please don't hesitate to reach out, and thank you very much for your time.
Hajinomashite, watashi no namae wa Charles Des, and I'm the CCO at DeepLight. And on behalf of the team, it's an honor to be here at the Nikkei AI and Transport Summit and to be one of the select Canadian startups. At DeepLight, our mission in life is AI for everyday life, where we're enabling deep learning AI models to run smaller, faster, and more energy efficient at the edge. And we believe this is a great fit for the Japanese market, particularly from a Society 5.0 perspective, where we want to accelerate the automation and digital transformation of applications that are crucial to making Society 5.0 a reality, whether it's in healthcare, whether it's in autonomous vehicles, smart manufacturing, agriculture, or consumer electronics. Our mission is to get these applications into the market and to support the society and the people as quickly as possible. What we're seeing today is a big challenge to make this happen. There are companies that have AI teams that are building these computer vision perception models, and they're using heavy, high-powered compute, and it's costly. And also the AI and data science teams are spending a lot of time trying to take these original trained models and do custom things to get them to run on smaller, low power, low cost compute, and also to try and accelerate them in the cloud. And we're here to alleviate that issue with the software that we've developed and that we feel is groundbreaking both in terms of results and its ease of use. Our software is available on premise. So it addresses the concerns that are top of mind for the Japanese from a data privacy, data security perspective. And it's also targeted for data scientists, AI engineers to use so that, again, we can improve and accelerate your machine learning AI process. And you take your original trained deep learning model, you run it through our software to produce an optimized or accelerated model. And this is an automated process. And what you can do as well before you start the process is provide certain inputs, such as maintaining or setting the acceptable accuracy loss. So we protect the quality of that AI model whilst we're producing a more efficient, more cost-effective one. So let's take a deeper dive and actually have a look at how our software works.
In this example, let's see how an AI engineer can easily optimize their convolutional neural network using the DeepLight engine in the standard AI framework PyTorch. Optimizing your model with DeepLight is as simple as writing one line of code, pressing run, and letting the engine do the work for you. All the engineer needs is a machine with the necessary prerequisites like PyTorch and CUDA for NVIDIA GPUs, and then inputting their model, dataset, accuracy, and a few other factors about compression to make sure that the results are as optimized as possible. Once the user puts in the necessary steps, they simply need to press run, and the DeepLight engine goes to work. In this PyTorch example, the first step is to profile the model and get the necessary KPIs, like the compression, the accuracy, and execution time. After that, the engine starts optimizing the architecture to meet the constraints the AI engineer defined, producing an output that has not only the optimized model, but also a profile of the performance specs like compression rate, latency, and accuracy. In this example, we can see the real-world benefit of optimizing deep neural networks for autonomous cars by speeding up the vehicle's ability to process visual information. In this example, DeepLight optimized an object detection model for autonomous vehicles to allow the vehicle to react 3 times faster to incoming cars. These are just some of the benefits we can see in the real world by using DeepLight software to optimize our neural networks.
Our groundbreaking results are enabling many AI applications, in this case automated optical inspection, where we're compressing a sizable model to run on an ARM Cortex-M4. And we're taking this a quantum leap further by introducing new functionalities such as quantization to produce even more improved optimization results and faster throughput on hardware such as GPUs. So with our unique on-premise automated software, we believe that DeepLight is well placed to support Japan and its mission to achieve Society 5.0. We are DeepLight and we are AI for everyday life. Arigato gozaimasu.
Hello, my name is Richard Biggs. I'm the Market Development Lead for Asia Pacific, based out of Singapore at Element AI. Element AI is a Canadian startup founded in Montreal. One of our co-founders is Yoshua Bengio, considered by many to be one of the three godfathers of deep learning. And our CEO is Mr. J.F. Garnier, a serial entrepreneur. We've been running for around 4 years, of over 315 employees and over $350 million funding from large institutional investors who are backing our global expansion, where we now have offices both in Canada, in Europe, in the UK, here in Singapore, in Seoul, Korea, and also, pleased to say, our first local representative now in Japan. We serve across a wide number of different verticals and industries, with a series of horizontal AI solutions. Our solutions consist of a series of specific use case centric products. So these are a series of models and capabilities wrapped up with a UI and back-end integration that cover major use case domains for AI applications in the enterprise. We also have a series of capabilities, which are single AI models where we have differentiated IP that we have developed that allow us to deploy these models on our customers' specific use cases through licenses and through many deployment options available, and can integrate into the customer's technology stack as needed. We then also have a series of custom development methods and services that enable us to take those existing capabilities and those offerings and customize them to fit the customer's specific needs. And so how does this all come together? We have a fundamental research group based on our deep connections with academia, through which we essentially take the state-of-the-art in algorithmic and AI research and bring those state-of-the-art capabilities into the applied world. In that applied world where we're beginning to solve real business problems, we then develop our core IP, and that core IP becomes exposed through our capabilities library and then embedded into the solutions that we develop for our customers and the products that we deploy on our customers' use cases. Now, really what makes us unique here is the approach that is very specific around human-machine collaboration. So we really make sure that the solutions we're developing have both the best of the human operators and the business units that are deploying them embedded into the solution development, and as well the absolute cutting edge in terms of technical advancement. And this is really important because by combining humans and machines together, you can actually improve outcomes for both sides dramatically. Secondly, we really focus on the accessibility side, making sure that the right tooling is in place to enable AI deployment to be more quick, more seamless, and also that the modular architecture that sits behind our solutions is scalable and can work in very complex production environments. Finally, we invest quite a significant amount of time in AI governance, ensuring that features like AI explainability, human in the loop, data governance and trust are considered both when strategizing about the AI roadmap and the development and deployment of the solutions around particular high-value use cases that our customers are pursuing. So an example of how this all comes together is with our first customer in Japan, AISUM2020, for whom we've been developing a visual inspection solution that has state-of-the-art AI explainability features embedded within. This has been a collaborative effort where we've worked with their AI development team to tackle some very complex explainability scenarios embedding those explainability features into the model themselves and into the solutions workflow, thereby improving and increasing trust in the solution, and also increasing the performance of the solution by enabling continuous learning approaches where on-the-line experts can actually improve the model performance over time through actively relabeling data. We're really excited to be officially coming to Japan, having our first local representative in the market, and we really hope to be able to connect with you all soon and talk about your particular AI journeys and how we can help you with enabling that AI journey to be faster and a better return on investment. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Kareem Ali, and I'm the founder and CEO of Envision AI. We are enabling the Internet of Intelligent Things. The problem that we're solving is an important one. Data generation is overwhelming. You may have heard that 90% of all data that exists in the world today was generated in the past year alone. Now, while the majority of this data is generated at the edge on field sensors, conventional wisdom says that in order to make sense of this data, it needs to be pushed to the cloud and analyzed there. Envision was founded on the idea that this is neither technically nor financially possible, and this is especially true for visual data. Better networks like 5G will not solve the problem. As we move forward into the futures, we will be deploying more and more sensors, and each year, sensors will improve in generating more and more data. We will start to look more into safety-critical applications where availability and latency are critical, and we will also start caring more and more about privacy. For all of these reasons, Envision has been developing a platform which combines ultra-efficient computer vision and artificial intelligence modules that can perform a variety of analytics. For example, we have modules that can perform object detection, detecting vehicles, detecting people. Once we've detected vehicles, we can classify them into car, bus, or a truck, for example. We have object tracking. We can track the object through the field of view of the sensor. Now, all of these modules are running ultra efficiently at the edge so that all of the analysis is happening on the sensor or very close to the sensor, and the only thing that's being sent to the cloud is metadata. Other modules that we have are ground plane and ego motion estimation. Now, this is a very unique and distinguishing feature of our technology, which enables someone to go beyond just analytics on an image or analytics on a video frame and takes you to the real world. So when we do detections, we can actually georeference these detections and place them on a map, latitude, longitude. Other interesting modules that we have are sensor fusion. So this could be combining camera with radar and LiDAR, and I'll show you an example of this. Or it could be tracking an object across a variety of cameras and doing all of that in a decentralized way. So as a person, for example, is moving from the field of view of one camera to the other, they're being tracked. And all of this, of course, protecting the person's privacy because all of the analysis is happening at the edge. Now, the cloud is a great place for administration, for doing analytics, for managing your devices, and for doing things that require an overall view across all of your sensors, like anomaly detection. This is the platform that Envision is building. Now, while our platform can be applied to a variety of different channels and use cases, our focus has been on intelligent infrastructure and transportation. And our approach and model is to build full stack solutions, solving important problems end to end. And I'll give you examples of 3 products that we're building around smart cities, smart roads, and autonomous rail. Our first product is a vehicle occupancy detection system, which is meant to fully automate the enforcement of priority lanes on the highway. The system can count the number of people inside a car while the car is moving at highway speeds. Now, compared to existing systems that can achieve 70 to 80% accuracy and require 1 to 2 weeks of setup times, we just came back from tests in Washington, D.C. on the I-95, tests that we ran together with Transurban, and we demonstrated that our system can achieve 99% accuracy and require a setup time of just under 2 hours. Envision is partnering with Siemens globally on this product and is very interested in entering the Japanese market. Another product I would like to tell you about is 5G camera analytics. Now, we talked about our ability to move away from just the video frame and into the real world. And this is what this product does. From a single camera, from an arbitrary point of view, we can place three-dimensional volume bounding boxes around vehicles and also place those three-dimensional bounding boxes on a real map, latitude X, longitude Y. Where has this target been in real world coordinate? Where will it be in real world coordinate? We are in discussions with multiple infrastructure providers, including in telecom around 5G towers to better manage the use of radio resources there. Another product, and our last one, which we're building together with Thales, has to do with forward collision warning systems for autonomous trains. The system combines a camera and a radar, and it looks ahead of the train and warns the driver or potentially an autonomous subsystem of an impending collision. One of the very unique things that Envision can do is from a single camera, again, acquired as three-dimensional situational awareness. We're able to figure out where the ground is. We can figure out what the pitch, the yaw, and the roll of the camera is. And using all of this information, we can place the objects directly in three-dimensional coordinates relative to the train. This is something that we are deploying with Metrolinx here locally, and we are also very interested in exploring with the Japanese market. Thank you very much for your time. We look forward to getting your questions.
はい、ありがとうございました。
はい、ありがとう。
Thank
あ
you
り
very
がとう
much.
ございました。ダーウィン AI さん、ディープライトさん、
So,
エレメント
Darwin
AI さん、インビジョン AI さんでしたね。今回はもうガッチガチの AI 技術という感じでしたし、エッジ AI というキーワードが出てきましたが、エッジ AI は日本でも市場規模がこれから急激に伸びていくというふうに注目されている技術ですと。今まではクラウド上にデータを上げて、クラウド上で判断処理していたものが、
and that cloud
身近
was
なところにある
determining that that's going to become more close. The device is going to do that, which I believe is going to change a lot in the market. So first off, so all of the companies have AI technologies.
So I
would like to ask four companies, but in concrete, what kind of partnership do you want to form with Japanese companies? If you could all answer one by one. So first off, starting with Darwin AI, Phineas, please.
Thanks very much for the question. For Darwin, I think, we're looking for end customers that we can partner with and work with at a strategic level. What we like to think of it as kind of a collaborative approach where we find a business problem that is of high value for the business, as a priority for the next couple months. And we really, like to work collaboratively with our partners to tackle this type of problem, whether it's an internal use case, an external use case for one of their customers, and really, make sure that there's significant ROI from that use case.
なるほど。はい、ありがとうございます。B2B でクライアントを多く抱えている日本企業という考え方がよろしいですかね。ありがとうございます。ではお次、ディープライトのチャールズさんいかがでしょうか。
So Charles from Deep Light, the same question.
Yeah, so we already have some direct engagements with companies in various different verticals directly, but we know how important it is to the Japanese culture to be able to speak the language and be there, present in the market. So we are looking for certain AI specialist sort of system integrators that could represent our company in region, and specifically, with AI background, because that fits well with the software we're obviously offering to the market. But we're also looking, for potential, VC fund as well. So we're very interested in venture capitalist companies as well.
なるほど。出資も募集されているということですね。ありがとうございます。
You're also looking for funding as well.
リチャードさんいかがでしょうか。
So, Mr. Richard from Element AI, what about you? Can you please say?
Yeah, thank you. Element AI would be looking specifically for customers who are on a very sort of mature end of the scale where they have already invested into particular AI use cases or problems that maybe they're challenged with pushing into production environments, production scale, or looking to move closer towards state of the art in terms of performance. That's where our proprietary IP and components would be of most value, and then we can work in partnership to bring those to bear for the customers.
なるほど、ありがとうございます。エンタープライズ向けに展開のプラットフォームを展開されているからこそ、これから AI をスケールアップされたいような会社にもとパートナーシップを組んでいきたいということですね。ありがとうございます。最後となりますが、インビジョン AI のカリムさん、いか
So
がでしょうか。
lastly, Mr. Kalim Ali from Envision AI, please.
Okay, thank you very much for this question. So for us, it really depends on the sector and the interest. Like as we mentioned, we have three products that we're building end to end. So when we look at vehicle occupancy detection, this is a market ready product. So if there are road operators, whether those are private or government, that are interested in automating priority lanes or dynamic congestion charging, then we are looking essentially for customers to purchase this product, which is quite disruptive on the market. As mentioned, very high accuracy, 99%, enables full automation and can be set up in under 2 hours. Now, when we look at our 3D camera analytics, there are a variety of applications there. We have municipalities that are testing this. We have telecom infrastructure operators that are looking to optimize 5G tower functioning. So we'd be looking for those type of customers, and as well as essentially road operators being able to count cars, say exactly where they are, what lane they're in, which way they're turning, etc. And for our rail product, we'd be looking at Japan Rail as a great example of someone that we could collaborate with. This project is less mature. It's probably 18 to 24 months out before a deployment. So there we'd be looking for more of a strategic collaboration.
はい、ありがとうございました。実はこのセッションがもう残り2分しかないということで、
Actually, we have only 2 minutes left.
技術についてもお伺いしたかったんですが、
So we really wanted to ask more about the AI technology, but it seems like all of the companies have significant level of AI technology. So for those people who are watching, if it would be good if you could look at their website as well to check them. So it was a short time, but thank you very much for coming today. So 11 companies we have introduced, the Canadian 11 companies, startup companies. There were some companies that I had never known before, and there was some interesting technology. Some were similar to Japan, etc. How did you think? There were some companies who were already partnering with the Japanese companies. I was surprised about that. Yes, especially in the auto industry, some companies tying up with Toyota, Nissan, or Aishin Seiki. So the Japanese large companies are already working overseas on these aspects. So with taking this opportunity, it would be good if an international AI work were to develop furthermore. We introduced from UK, Canada, and also with these companies, it would be good if there could be some tie-ups with these companies. So for 90 minutes, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.